Welcome back to Cactus Cup 2026, hosted by Arizona Roller Derby. You are about to see Juarez taking on Wasatch for our round-robin game. It is our 9th game of this weekend, and we're so happy to see you. I am Cakes, and I'm joined with...
Loquito Bonita, bienvenidos. Ya estamos casi listos para empezar.
We are also joined by our amazing producer, Colonel Angus, so thank you so much for being here, and welcome chat. So if you're in the arena and you can hear us, we're so happy to see your signs. I love that. I think it says, what does it say? Si se puede?
Si se puede.
Ah, very nice.
Mala y no veo el otro nombre. O quizás es solamente mala. Pero
Love it. So from our amazing Ability 360 arena, thank you for joining us. And then those online, thank you for joining us as well. We are so excited that you're here. So let us know if you have any sort of shout-outs, anybody you want to talk about, anything of those natures, please let us know. For Juarez Roller Derby, the All-Star Juarez. Bonita, who is on the list?
pues vamos a ver patinando hoy en las camisas rojas 03 Lady Evil, 13 Jess, 16 Beethoven, 19 Star Predator, 20 Meowth, 333 Vanna Doom, 430 Rosie the Riveter, 5 Mala, 66 Janit, 7 Ninerfe, 724 April Drenalina, 729 Tropical Punch, 813 Coruca, y 99 Hades.
And skating for Wasatch Roller Derby, the Midnight Terror, we have 1028 Roller Bear, number 1039 Lavender Menace, number 17 Crasneck. We also have number 22 Off the Rails, 2324 Furious George, number 314 Bip, number 394 Skates and Ladders, number 56 Shirley Temper, number 7734 Yvel, number 777 Colonel Skirts, number 8 Taco Delamere, number 801 Orange Crusher, number 84 Kills, 927 Hit and Roll, and number 93 Devil's Ivy. Our officials, we have Carmen Dragon, Code Adam, Lemon Stinger, Mr. Fox, Adam Smasher, Adam Splitter, Hate Bit, also Billow Fights, Nerdy Little Secret, Kit Ruff, Danger Muffin, Bacon the Question, Too Legit to Quit, Boba Threat, 9-Inch Wheels, and Space Racer. Vamos!
De veras. When you said too legit to quit, I want to know who else was just about ready to get down.
I know, right?
Too legit to quit. Too
Hey,
legit
hey.
to quit.
Oh,
Yeah, I
Love
was,
it.
man,
I'm
that's
down.
such an excellent name.
I'm a little bit jealous of that name,
Thanks
to
for
be
bringing me
honest.
that joy.
Let us know where you're watching from their chat. Also, give shout outs to the people that you're looking forward to seeing on the track. If there's any, especially for me, please let me know if I've mispronounced anything. I'd be happy to correct it live on the mic. Let me know. And also just overall, shout outs and joy. We'd love to hear it.
Yesterday, Juarez played Treasure Valley, winning 178 to 93, and Wasatch fell to Arizona Roller Derby Rising. That score was 177 to 94. So let's see what happens here.
Well, anything could happen. Starting off on that Night Owl Jam line, we have April Janalina against Devil's Ivy of Wasatch. Nice work by Juarez in the front wall, but has to let Devil's Ivy grow. Lead jammer prevails for Devil's Ivy. Nice work by Rosie the Riveter, taking that front pack for Juarez. Swiveling around the outside, Devil's Ivy continues to pick up a little bit of pace, puts up 4. We're going to get a multiplayer block on number 56. That's Shirley Temper. Hopefully we'll calm down, think about her choices. Wasatch also going to lose 1 to the box. That's 1039 Lavender Menace. Pack spitting up a lot of speed, already on their second rotation. Not a lot of walls in that last jam, but overall great to watch. Wasatch picks up that first lead very early in this game, 7-0. And again, super early here, Bonita. Very excited to see Juarez. And I know Juarez and Wasatch will both give us a very physical game.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to see these two teams play coming into the tournament. Juarez ranked at 18, Wasatch at 27. Our predictor is saying we're going to see a score of 186 to 114. Of course, skaters on the track are going to have something to say about that. So we will see. Pero ahora vamos a ver que Beethoven tiene la estrella para Juarez y también tiene lead Roller Bear con la estrella para Wasatch y ha salido del pack. Entonces, a ver qué va a hacer Beethoven, que ya se fue. Y ganó 3 puntos en ese paso. Entonces, estamos en 7-3. Había un jugador fuera de la pista, entonces no ganó esa otra puntos o 3 puntos. Y estaba diciendo antes que Juárez está 18 en los rankings y Wasatch es 27 y el predictor dice que vamos a ver un final de 186 a 114 a favor de Juárez, pero vamos a ver qué pasa. And Cakes, what are we going to see right now?
Well, we're going to see Lady Evil take that lead from Juarez and hit and roll, still stuck in that back wall. Juarez doing a great job with this defense in turn 1. Hit and roll and skates are my favorite, says Roadkill on our chat. So you are getting what you would like to see. Hit and roll for Wasatch jamming. Juarez really slowing down the momentum of Wasatch. Now on the board contending. We have a tie game, 7 apiece. And Lady Evil is on a scoring run. Hit and roll starting to pick up a little bit of momentum. We are going to get a penalty here, a track cut on Lavender Menace, the captain of Wasatch. So we'll have a pack advantage as we head into Jam 4 for Juarez. And that was a wonderful 6-point jam. And we have our first lead change going to Team Juarez, 10-7, still very early. But again, we told you it was going to be a physical fight, and the predictor may or may not be accurate, but we're going to see what happens. And just to let you know how physical it is, in the first jam we had 4 penalties spread out between 2 teams. But I mean, just the first jam.
Yeah, that's a lot. Minerve tiene la estrella para Juárez, Furious George para Wasatch. Y un choque grande ahí y Minerve se fue para adentro. Tenía que reciclar. Furious George también estaba reciclado. Taco de la Mar intentando de parar a Minerve, pero ya se fue y tiene lead. Furious George en su primer paso tiene la gorra en su mano, quizás buscando una oportunidad de pasarlo o lo tiene escondida. Vamos a ver qué pasa. Ninet con 4 puntos en el cielo. Y Janit se va a la caja de penales de Lookout Publications. Había un paso de la estrella. Ahora Colonel Skirts está jammer para Wasatch. El pack está moviendo bien rápido y eso es un Power Jam. Power Jam.
Power Jam.
De poder. A favor de Wasatch, Nine está en esa Lookout Publications caja de penales. 4 puntos para Colonel Skirts y está intentando de ganar unos más. Se quedan un ratito en el reloj del jam. Nine ha regresado de caja de penales allí en los toe-stops, pero se cayó, tiene que regresar. Y ya, se terminó el jam, pero eso era bien fuerte, una batalla para ganar puntos y se quedaron en 7 cada uno. Man, what a battle for a 7-7 jam.
That was rough, and I like that. Wasatch is trying to chip away at Juarez's lead, but I think these teams are going to like go back and forth this whole game. I can feel it. You can see it in the physicality as they're going around the track.
Yeah, I think they're both are really digging in. Those games yesterday got them ready for today.
I believe it, Bonita. Now Jam 5 underway. Devil's Ivy on that Night Owl Jam line for Wasatch against April Lina for Juarez. Almost 30 seconds have almost passed. We have a track cut on Juarez, so we will have a power jam situation, a Brick Road Coffee power jam in favor of Wasatch. Lead is still open, and Devil's Ivy takes that lead. Pack settles down in the second straightaway. A tiny two-wall of Juarez at front. Wasatch breaking apart. Goated in the back, we have 729 Tropical Punch. Offensive maneuver and getting help is Bip. The People's Pivot says Kashit has wares on our chat. Juarez has a split wall, and they do congeal back together to put it together just before turn 4. Wasatch taking that back roll. Huge hit courtesy of Juarez defense 813. Kiruka. Great work there. Nice jam overall. 5-point jam for Wasatch, and we have another lead change. So that's 2 now for this game so far. We had a tie at one point, so 3 lead changes in a row. Or 3 in a row. Or 3 changes total. Thank you so much with my words. 17-19 is the score. 21-58 on the clock.
2 puntos entre esos dos equipos. Como dijo mi amiga Torta, 17 para Juárez, 19 para Wasatch. Y es Roller Bear que ha salido primero, pero Beethoven también viene rápidamente para llegar al lado de Roller Bear diciendo a su equipo que mueve, para que se siga tan rápido. Casi cuando llegó Beethoven, se terminó el jam. Un solo punto para Wasatch. Entonces ahora tenemos 3 puntos entre los dos equipos. Estamos en 20 para Wasatch, 17 para el equipo de Juárez.
Going into Jam 7, we see hit and roll for Wasatch against Lady Evil of Juarez. Colonel Angus does point out that both teams have a 4-jammer rotation, and they're keeping to it strong. Lady Evil picks up that lead jammer position for Juarez. Pack settling down but by the pivot line. Hit and roll being recycled courtesy of Karuka. I like how the swivel is happening between the 2 walls. Defense is being broke apart on both sides. One will head to the penalty box. That's Bip for Wasatch. Wasatch getting a lot of love. You got it, Wasatch. And yes, Apollo sending love again, says Spencer Skates in the chat. Huge hit there between turns 1 and 2. They have to let Lady Evil go. We have another lead change. This is the 4th one so far this contest. 8 points on the board for Lady Evil. I think this is the highest scoring jam so far this game. Juarez holding that record. Pushing that pace is Lady Evil. Trying to get one more point on the board and shuts out hit and roll. But double zeros on that last trip through the pack. 8-point jam for Juarez. This is 25-20 in favor of Team Juarez. I want to give a shout out to Brick Road Coffee. We've been mentioning it all day as a Power Jam supporter, but Brick Road Coffee was built to be a welcoming space where everyone can show up exactly as they are and feel like they belong. From drag brunches and community meetups to chill co-working and comfy creative space, Brick Road is a home base for connection, kindness, and community, serving great coffee while building community brick by brick.
Minerva tiene la estrella para Juárez, Furious George. Para Wasatch, o como decimos en español, Jorge Furioso. Y es Furious George que ha salido primero, pero veo allí en la pista que se cayó la gorra. George se da cuenta que no lo tiene y los blockers de Juarez estaban guardando esa gorra. Y ahora George se termina el jam, pero 4 puntos para Nine y Juárez. Ahora estamos en 29-20.
Wow, Bonita, that was rough because the star cap came off, and you know you kind of have to bring it with you.
You do. You need that for your points to count. And nice job by Juarez to prevent George from getting the cap back.
They did a great defense in that last jam for sure. Wow, so 8 jams so far, and we've had 50-50 lead per team.
I love that.
Yeah, so I like how it's been so close, and even the chat is really excited about how it's such a close game already, says Roadkill. Devil's Ivy on that Night Owl jam line for Wasatch. April Adrenalina for Juarez. Devil's Ivy picks up the lead jammer position, and the pack is starting to pull all the way back behind turn number 4, and it's courtesy of Wasatch's defense. April Adrenalina is stashing the star for now. Juarez giving all the checks to Devil's Ivy. A successful star pass on Juarez's side to Jess. Pack's starting to try to pick up a little bit of speed. It looks like Juarez is trying to get some points there, or protect their points, I should say. Juarez shut out. One more point put on the board for Wasatch. That's going to bring it to a 4-point gap now, closing that differential. 25 for Wasatch, 29 for Juarez, and 16 minutes, 44 seconds on the game clock. Wow, this first quarter is going by so fast, Lokita.
Yeah, I can't believe. I feel like I just blinked. And the score is only 29-25 at this point in the game. Like, we're on track for like a 110-100 finish, right? Like, let's see what happens. Y Beethoven va a ver qué se puede hacer aquí en jam número 10. Estaba empujado para adentro. Tenía que reciclar gracias a Taco de la Mar. Roller Bear con la estrella para Wasatch. No se puede encontrar ningún espacio. Janet se va para afuera y después adentro para parar a Roller Bear, pero había un espacio chiquito y se pasó. Tiene lead. Y ahora Beethoven ha salido del pack. Tiene la estrella. Estaba en su mano y ahora está en el casco. Y la gente ahí de Wasatch diciendo que llámalo, termínalo, y ya se paró. 3 puntos y ahora estamos en 29-28, casi empatados. We almost have a tie score.
Just 1 point separating these two
So
teams,
close.
Juanita. I'm freaking out. Now, not too much penalty trouble. I know we just had the first quarter come to a close. 6 penalties apiece per team, so still very close. But the Lookout Publications penalty box is just wonderful for being one of our sponsors. And every hit gets called, so every story gets told. So Lookout is Arizona's LGBTQ plus newsroom. And this weekend, they own the penalty box. Find out more about them at lookoutnews.org. On that Night Owl Jam line, you'll see Lady Evil for Juarez and Hit and Roll taking that lead jammer position for Wasatch. First time that Hit and Roll has been able to do that against the matchup against Lady Evil. Pack in the second straightaway. Hit and Roll just trying to pick up points and call the jam. Lady Evil doing a great job putting on that pressure, waiting for those points to be totaled. We'll see what that comes through. 2, and we have our 5th lead change of the game here at minute 14. Wow, what a great job these teams are doing and keeping it close. I don't think the game predictor is going to be a factor here because it might be in the second half. You never know. But
Right, you never know.
You never know. We're going to get team timeout from Juarez. And good call because Wasatch was starting to get a flow going.
Yeah, they have 4 in a row, right? Yep.
Yeah.
The last 4 leads going to Wasatch. Now, Juarez able to get their jammer out pretty quickly. Those have been low-scoring jams, but yesterday we saw Juarez getting out like almost every jam with leads. So this is a good opportunity, right, for them to pause.
Yeah.
Remember what worked well yesterday.
Right.
Adjust to the team they're playing today. See what we see.
And I really did enjoy watching Juarez yesterday. They brought the energy. They brought the pressure. Kind of nerve-wracking personally. So I was really curious to see how this game would go. And respectively, it's just been amazing.
Yeah, I mean, both teams really bringing it here on day 2 of a Cactus Cup in Phoenix, Arizona.
I mean, it wasn't just the heat wave that we're suffering. We are seeing a lot of heavy heat on this track from Team Juarez.
Bringing the heat.
Bringing the heat. They're very spicy. We have OK Knuckles in our chat saying, let's go Wasatch. Alex Victoria says, let's go MT. And Kajit has says, great offensive maneuver there. Bip, agreed. Jam 12 underway. Furious George for Wasatch.
Nine,
your lead jammer for Juarez. Pack starting to pick apart at tier number 2, the front wall putting together by Wasatch. Nine being recycled again, courtesy of Taco Delamere. Oh my goodness, what a huge hip check, courtesy of number 19, Star Predator. And this is a defensive jam for Wasatch for sure. 4 points on the board. Nina is, you know what? I'm going to call that off now. Thank you so much for all the hits. No, thank you. Going to call it off. Yeah, Star Predator, you did amazing. 4 points on the board. We have another lead change. This will be number 6 of this game.
Lead change.
Lead change.
It's a lead change. I love a lead change.
Just gotta love the lead change.
I'm feeling like we need some sort of a spoofy sort of song where we can say our favorite Derby phrases.
Yeah.
Okay. Hold tight.
We'll work on it.
Our social media wizard Cakes is going to come up with something brilliant. And at some point, we'll put it out for you. But I don't think people care about that, do they? They care about the Derby on the track. My apologies. Eso es Beethoven, que tiene lead para Juarez. Después de 4 leads enseguido de Wasatch, Juarez ha regresado de eso time out y han tenido 2 leads enseguida. Beethoven con 4 puntos más. Había un paso de la estrella. Bip ahora con la estrella para Wasatch. Beethoven con 4 más, 8 puntos. En jam número 13 y todavía hay 1 minuto. Hay 2 blockers de Wasatch en la caja de penales de Lookout Publications. Bib ha salido del pack y con eso se termina el jam. 12 puntos. Y ahora tenemos la diferencia de 15 puntos, 45 para Juarez, 30 para Wasatch. Look at how the tide has kind of shifted. We once were going back and forth, just 1-2 points between these two. Now we have 15 points of a point differential.
Well, not only that, we have a little bit more penalty trouble going on the Wasatch side. They're sitting at 11 penalties, whereas Juarez is starting to keep it really clean amongst all their skaters. Some players on Wasatch running into a little bit of trouble. Within 10 seconds, April Angelina picks up the lead jammer position right off the bat, puts up 4 big points. The pack hasn't even done its full rotation. Pack advantage for Juarez is why you're seeing such a quick work on the track for Team Juarez. Colonel Skirts tries to slow down April Drinolina. Unfortunately, no one can stop her. 4 points back on the board, 8 points total in that jam. And now Juarez starting to run away with the momentum here, keeping that contention of points more in their favor. It is 53-30 in favor of Juarez. We have 9 minutes and 52 seconds on the clock. Viva Juarez, says Devious Dame in our chat.
Y ahora Hit and Roll tiene lead después de tres lead enseguido de Juarez. Hemos visto un cambio. Wasatch con lead aquí. Y Hit and Roll intentando de salir del pack, pero era empujado para adentro por Mala. Y en ese mismo momento, Lady Evil ha salido del pack. So, aunque Hit and Roll tiene lead, Lady Evil está llegando y con eso Hit and Roll dice que ya vamos a terminar. Pero ya ganó los 4 puntos para Wasatch. Entonces ahora estamos en 34 para Wasatch y 53 para Juarez.
4 penalties apiece on Team Wasatch's side. We have number 56, that's Shirley Temper, and also number 1039, Lavender Menace. Still not anything to be too worried about because we're now trickling into the second quarter. We have 8 minutes and 30 on the clock to go. Starting off on the Night Owl Jam line, we have Furious George for Wasatch, Nine for Juarez. Both teams 3-on-3. Slight package advantage now for Wasatch as one exit still in the Lookout Publications penalty box. Lead jammer awarded to Nine. Huge hit courtesy of number, I believe it was 13 on the Juarez side, Jess, to the infield. Hits Furious George. Furious George thought, hey, I'm fine. No bigs, but it is a track cut. So we're going to have a Brick Road Coffee Power start headed into Jam 17 for Team Juarez. Even though that jam was double zeros, we know that Juarez will have that advantage coming up next. One of our event sponsors, Thread, Sweats, and Tears, more than jersey, more than merch, and they're built for community. This is Thread, Sweat, and Tears, where culture, performance, and community are all stitched together. Thank you so much for being one of our event sponsors. Murda.
Gracias a Murda. De veras. Beethoven tiene la estrella para Juarez y ya se fue del pack. Lead para Juarez. Furious George con la estrella para Wasatch. Y se cortó la pista, entonces Beethoven se va a la caja de penales y Jorge Furioso ha salido de esa caja con un cambio rápido de jammers. Eso es otro Power Jam. Power Jam.
Power Jam.
Jam de poder a favor de, o gracias a Brick Road Coffee. Ahí se fue para afuera con un chocazo con Mala. So era reciclado casi a esa Night Owl Jam Line. Beethoven ha regresado de la caja de penales. Está intentando de salir del pack, pero por la fuerza de Colonel Skirts y Orange Crusher no hay mucho espacio. Se abrió un hueco allí adentro de la pista y Beethoven ya se fue. 4 puntos en el cielo para Beethoven. Furious George intentando de ganar los puntos, pero está parado por Mala y Janit. Janit salió de defensa y rápidamente llegó a ayuda ofensivo. Y Beethoven está afuera de pack con 4 puntos más. Y en ese momento se termina el jam, pero mucha fuerza para llegar para ganar a esos 8 puntos para el equipo de Juarez. Another very physical jam between these two teams with just 8 points to show for it.
I agree, and I was actually a little bit nervous towards the end there. A lot of hits, and unfortunately Wasatch unable to rebound from that jammer penalty. That was huge in favor of Juarez. So that 8-point jam extends Juarez closer to 30 points between the two teams. Still very close, and we've noticed all it takes is a jammer penalty for one of these teams to catch up.
That's right. And we do have an official review being called by Wasatch. So I will hypothesize that this is something to do with penalties.
Ooh,
The
I
jammer
like this.
penalty.
Yeah.
It's actually an official timeout,
Oh, okay.
not an official review. So it doesn't have anything to do with anything.
Aw, I like the hypothesis. I like you trying to figure it out and guesstimate.
Except that the officials need a timeout, and you know what?
You know what?
They can do that.
They can, and I think it's fair considering how fast this pack has been this entire game.
Yeah.
Water break, you know what I mean? Zebras have to find the watering hole for a second. Just give them a minute. Thank you, chat, for all your shout-outs here. And thank you for hanging out with all of us here at Cactus Cup. Right now on that Night Owl Jam line, we have Devil's Ivy of Wasatch against April Adrenalina for Juarez. Both teams at full strength now as we head into Jam 18. Pushing that pace up at front is Devil's Ivy. Definitely a contender to keep those points alive for Wasatch. Sneaking up on the inside, though, April Adrenalina picks up the lead jammer for Juarez. Star Stash for Devil's Ivy as the pack starts to move into the second straightaway. Juarez still trying to keep that wall together, but it's broken apart by Wasatch and swiveling up the inside lane, coming pushed out from that defensive wall of Wasatch. April Adrenalina calling from the ground. 3 points put on the boards. That'll bring a 30-point differential. That's 3 in a row for the lead for Juarez. And now I think they're just being comfortable with starting to figure out how they want to put the pace to Team Wasatch.
All right, so en los últimos 18 jams hemos visto que Juárez tiene lead 10 veces y Wasatch 8 veces. So, casi lo mismo, pero obviamente cuando Juárez tiene lead, han llegado con más puntos, ¿no? Se tomaron esa ventaja y lo usaron bien. Lady Evil es alguien que sabe mucho de tener lead, que otra vez tiene lead para Juárez. Roller Bear tiene la estrella para Wasatch, pero ha recibido un penal. Se cortó la pista. Entonces tenemos un Power Jam. Power Jam. Jam de poder. Jam de poder a favor de Lady Evil. Lady Evil llegó al pack y se paró un momento, pero ahora con ayuda de los blockers, y perdóname que no vi quién era, pero alguien se empujó a Lady Evil y ahora con una más ya se pasó 4 puntos más. Rápidamente Roller Bear ha regresado y entrado al pack. Mala con un penal se va a la caja de penales y Lady Evil se terminó el jam justamente cuando llegó Roller Bear. Son 8 puntos para Juárez. 2 minutos se quedan aquí en la primera mitad de ese juego entre los dos equipos. Just 2 minutes left here in the first half. We've had a really hard-hitting game so far.
Oh, my goodness, yeah. The Juarez blockers have definitely figured out Wasatch jammers. And I think that they've picked apart some nice, knowledgeable pieces on how to slow them down. Hit and roll, though, figuring it out against Juarez defense, on the other hand, picks up lead jammer position for Wasatch. We're going to lose one to the box. That is number 13, Jess, for Juarez. So pack advantage definitely for Wasatch, as 2 are in the box for Juarez. Star Stash, Beethoven. Pack in turn 1. 1 to go at that front wall. Nice work there. But Karuka doing a great job with the one lone blocker. Will go to the box, but not before having just put the pressure on hit and roll. So a huge pack advantage continues for Wasatch going into Jam 21, and that was 8 points for Team Wasatch. I wonder, is that the highest scoring jam for Team Wasatch? Yes. It is for their first half. So 42-74, we're going into jam time here shortly.
Nina tiene la estrella para Juarez, Furious George para Wasatch. Hemos visto estos dos juntos varias veces en el juego. Nina al frente del pack, pujando, y ya salió, tiene lead. Y Jorge Furioso se encontró un espacio allí afuera y también ha salido del pack. So, con unos segundos que se quedan en esa primera mitad, Nina dice que ya es el momento de descansar. Nina was ready for halftime, so went ahead and called it off.
Good call, Nina. Thank you.
Yeah.
We were all ready for halftime. That was so passionate, that first half.
Yeah, that was amazing. And the way it went back and forth in the very beginning, I would not be surprised if after halftime we might see some of that again. Some trading of leads. Wasatch is going to go in and talk about what went well in those early moments and see how they can bring that back here in the second half.
We'll also talk about MVPs who we think should take away from these games. And overall, we'd be happy to hear your opinion in the chat. Let us know. But this has been a wonderful first half between Juarez versus Wasatch, sitting at 77-42. We will be coming back shortly in about 10 minutes or so. I'm Cakes, joined with Lokita Benita as on behalf of our amazing producer, Colonel Angus. We'll be back here shortly.
Yes, see you back if you're on the stream. And hey, for all our friends who are here live, I want to let you know that we have some delicious food outside. Rosie's Kitchen, the food truck of deliciousness, is outside and ready for you. It is Italian food, sandwiches, and dessert. So go on out and get you some, bring it back so you can watch the second half of this amazing game.
The right helmet is super important to me because I'm a big fan of my brain and I want to protect it.
I actually am going to plug in the new deep cover helmet because it's amazing. That's the one helmet that I feel like I can adjust perfectly and then I don't have to worry about it.
Your head, your noggin, it's your life. When I play, if I am thinking about the game and not thinking about what I'm wearing, I am on fire.
Our heads are so important, so I think it's really important to have a helmet that fits you. It just feels like nothing's on my head. I feel protected. It's definitely a great helmet. It feels like it was made for me.
This fits my head. I feel really safe in this. I can adjust it on the fly. It also comes in a lot of cool colors.
It feels very snug. I don't know, it's not like a tight helmet, it's like really like a hug that just has so many fitting arrangements, like it changes everything.
It landed where it needed to land, it protected me at the back of my skull. I just never felt more safe than I did with the deep cover.
The smaller shell size means that my head is not 12 times bigger than it should be. It feels snug, it feels safe. When I tried it on, I was like, this is the greatest helmet of all time. I'm never taking it off.
I think Triple Eight is doing an awesome job listening to the skaters.
They're listening to the athletes and they're listening to the things that make us feel safe.
Hello everyone.
Hi folks, Tui Lion here, and I'm here to ask you if your helmet is cooked. Whether you're on the derby track or at the skate park, your helmet has one job, to protect you. So let's check out your helmet together and find out if it's still doing its job. Look for the following signs to determine if the EPS foam in your helmet has deteriorated. 1. Physical cracks or deformations. 2. Soft spots. 3. Discoloration. 4. Separation from the shell. 5. Age. Helmets should be replaced every 3 years depending upon usage, even if they appear to be in good condition. 6. Unusual odors. Let's move on to the outer shell and consider your previous impacts. If the helmet has been involved in a significant impact, the EPS foam could be compromised even if no visible damage is apparent. If the strap adjusters, clip, or straps are compromised, your helmet placement might be compromised if you take a fall. Last but not least, if your helmet doesn't fit you properly, it's not going to do its job when you need it most. Your helmet should sit about 1 finger width above your eyebrows and stay put when you're moving around or shaking your head. Visit 888.com to find out about our cutting-edge helmet technology and designs. The most certifications, the latest technology, the best fit. We've got you covered.
They call it a sport, but we know better. It's a symphony of dedication, grit, and heart. Tuned to one another in a composition of chaos on a stage built for progress. Athlete-driven innovation from the first whistle to the final score. Every hit, every fall, every win, every loss, every team, every season, everybody. We've got you covered.
All right, welcome back to the conclusion of Juarez versus Wasatch. 77-42 in favor of Juarez. We have been doing a wonderful job enjoying this game between these two teams. Very physical, both sides.
But you're right. We have been doing a wonderful job in watching both sides.
I know. It's that food coma. Welcome back, chat. Sorry it took us a minute here. We're glad to be back and enjoying this game with you. Juarez versus Wasatch. 77-42 if you're just catching up. Juarez skating in bright red, Wasatch in white. I'm Cakes and I'm joined with Lakita Bonita as well as Colonel Angus. I almost said Sanders and I had to stop myself. I'm so sorry. It's the food. What's happening in the trackside there, Bonita?
El juego ha empezado, eso es lo que está pasando. Y April Adrenalina tiene la estrella para Juarez, Devil's Ivy para Wasatch. Hay un blocker de Wasatch en la caja de penales de Lookout Publications. Y por un espacito chiquito se pasó Devil's Ivy y tiene lead, pero April Adrenalina viene rápidamente. Devil's Ivy intentando de pasar a alguien y sí, dice el Jam Ref que ganó un punto en ese paso, so 1-0 para empezar la segunda mitad de ese juego. So 1-0 Wasatch as we start the second half of this game.
And in the first half, we had 6 lead changes, Bonita.
Wow.
So we had a lot to be joyful for in that first half.
Yeah.
And so far as penalties, 14 total for Juarez, and we have 20 for Wasatch. So still pretty close in that sense there. Jam 2 underway. Roller Bear for Wasatch. For Beethoven is Juarez. Both teams at full strength. That front wall being put together by Wasatch. Nice momentum shift here defensively. We see number 8 coming on through, known as Taco Delamere. But lead is awarded to Beethoven. Pack starting to pick up a lot of speed. Juarez trying to control the speed a little bit. Wasatch mounting up and back here. Inside lane protected by Bip. Taco Delamere holding that cut. And just before any score could come on the board for Wasatch, we have a 2-point gain for Team Juarez. Extends their lead to 79-43. Nice work. We had 12 leads in the first half for Team Juarez and 9 for Wasatch. I think the biggest thing overall was just the jammer penalties and so many blockers at the same time going to the box for Wasatch. That's why the score starts to have a huge differential.
And that can really affect the momentum that you're feeling while you're on the track. So it's not just that loss, then it's even harder to get back to where you were before. So new opportunity here, a reset in the second half. So vamos a ver qué pasa con Wasatch y Juarez. Wasatch ha tenido un chance en el descanso entre la primera y segunda mitad. Hit and roll, haciendo un blocking allí a Lady Evil. Lady Evil tiene lead, pero llegó fuerte. Y si va a tener un penal. Eso era un golpe fuerte. So pararon el jam, pero todos están bien. Y el jammer de Juárez va a recibir un penal. Entonces tenemos un power jam.
Want to give a shout out to Roller Rag Magazine. Roller Rag Mag is a community source roller skating magazine created by skaters, artists, writers, and photographers from all along the world. Each issue brings together diverse voices, experiences, and styles, from rinks to parks, derby track to streets. Thank you, Roller Rag Magazine. Wow, that was a little bit of a rough one there.
Yeah, that was. some power on the track.
I think they're conferring the official timeout is just not only for the possible injury that was the hit. We just want to make sure everybody's safe, getting up okay, but also finding out what the points might be in that last pass.
Yeah. And we got some great officials here, so they are going to work hard to make sure they get it exactly right. We love you, officials. Thank you so much for being with us this weekend. I want to thank our sponsors as well. Hey, did you know that we're doing a RollerCon raffle? That's
You are?
right. Oh. Yeah, if you have not got your MVP pass to RollerCon, why, first of all, but maybe you're just waiting. Who knows? There's challenges, right, involved with purchasing tickets, like for me, remembering to do it. You might win your ticket. So enter to win the raffle. You can enter from afar, so virtually, right, or from a near. Did they say that? A near, afar, and a near?
I love it.
Right?
Nailed it.
I say it, though, so now they say it. So get your tickets. I'm going to post a link in the chat, I think. I'm going to try. And so if you're not here and you want to participate in that raffle, of course, all funds go to Roller Derby. Okay, that code didn't work, but I'll find a link for you, and I will share it. Because if you want to go to RollerCon like I want to go to RollerCon, you want to win a ticket, because that's a great way to go.
And I think I want to say hi to Michi-chan. Thank you so much for coming back. Happy to have you back in the chat. Michi-chan says, great job, Juarez. Even though it's because we're seeing a whole red block on the overlay. We're going to get some information here by our wonderful official. It does look like 5 skaters are in the box, but there isn't, I promise. I'm looking right at the box now. Hot to Go. You know that song, Hot to Go? I think of that OTO instead of, yeah, so that's where my brain's at right now. So what was that there about, Bonita?
So we got the update from the officials that the jammer from our last jam, Lady Evil, has been ejected from the game. For that hit was determined to be egregious because there was ability to make a different, from the official's perspective, ability to make a different decision and not come in quite so hot. So that results in the ejection. You know, I feel like that's got to be a tough part of being an official, like really evaluating that. It's not something that they take lightly.
No.
You know, but everybody's safety is so important. And nothing, and I have no doubt that Lady Evil was also just making the best decisions that she could at that time.
Yeah.
But things go so quick. And
it's hard to change it in the moment when you have such momentum, because I saw that was between her and hit and roll. So that was very difficult. So I understand. But to play safe.
Yeah, you know, you got to make those tough decisions. So thank you, officials, for being here and making those decisions. So there is a different jammer. That's April Drenalina serving that penalty in the Lookout Publications penalty box.
And that's due to her being the captain. The captain has that captain's chair in that penalty box right now. So right now on the track, we have Devil's Ivy picking up that lead jammer position for Team Wasatch. Pack's already on its first rotation, even though Team Juarez doing a great job taking that front wall protectively and maintaining that defensive wall all the way around the track. Devil's Ivy is on a scoring run. April Drenalina still having to go through the initial. Pack starts to pick up a little bit of speed as it enters turn 1. April Drenalina is now through on the initial. Devil's Ivy is going to call off the jam in this very difficult pass, courtesy of the blockers on Juarez. 3 points on the board for Wasatch, 79-46, with 25 minutes remaining in this contest.
That's my little sister's birth year too. All right, vamos a seguir. Hay un timeout al lado de Juarez. Un momento para descansar y hablar del plan del resto de este juego. So a quick timeout here being called by Juarez, which I think it makes a lot of sense. There had been a slight momentum shift, and we are still in the very early moments of the second half of this game, and anything can happen. As we say in Announcerville, it's anybody's game.
Jinx, you owe me a Coke. Okay.
Okay, you betcha.
You betcha.
Hey, where are y'all from out there in chat land? Let us know. ¿De dónde son todos de ustedes? Algunos aquí, imagino, en varias partes de los Estados Unidos, otros en México y cualquier otra parte del mundo. Avísanos para que podamos decir a todo el mundo de dónde son los fanáticos de roller derby. Shout it out. Tell us where you're from. We know there's people all over the world that watch roller derby.
Gonna give a shout out to Farrell Grumpy Monkey in the chat. How you doing, Farrell? Miss your face. Nina on that jam line against Roller Bear. Is that right there, Bonita?
Yes. Perdóname, estaba leyendo algo del chat y se me olvidó que tengo que decir lo que está pasando en la pista. Eso es Nine con la estrella y Roller Bear tiene la estrella para Wasatch. Pero Nina tiene lead, ha pasado 4 puntos más, se van en el cielo para el equipo de Juárez. Un paso de la estrella ahora, Shirley Temper tiene la estrella para Wasatch. Y Nina dijo que ya, vamos a terminar ese jam, 5 puntos, está bien. 5 lovely points going up for Juárez. And so decision made to end that jam. Liz diciendo que somos de la frontera más fabulosa y bella del mundo. Pues soy de la frontera también, pero del lado de Arizona. Y a mí me gusta mucho esa zona del mundo.
Jam underway. We have Beethoven as your lead jammer for Juarez. Hit and roll for Wasatch, stuck behind a 2-wall here as we enter the second straightaway. Nice work here by number 66, Janit. Janit's going to get an illegal procedure, going to go back to the Lookout Publications penalty box. Beethoven putting up 4 big points. Oh my goodness, narrowly escaping Mala was hit and roll. Very, very difficult moment there in the inside lane. I would have been very, very worried for hit and roll had that been a contact. Very hit it and quit it moment for Juarez as well. 7 points total for this Jam 6. Juarez pulling away here ever so slightly. 91-46 with 23 minutes in there. I had to ask Colonel Angus a little bit about a hand signal. I thought one of our officials was doing "You can't see me."
I was just about to say John Cena.
John Cena, you can't see me. So I was like, okay, what does that mean? And it's every official has a different way of saying no initial pass. But I was really excited to learn that. So there you go.
That's one of the nice things about having an official as an announcer. We get lots of good insight. April Drenalina ya ha salido de pack, tiene lead. Eso era bien rápidamente. Devil's Evil también ha salido del pack. So, April Drenalina dice que quiere los 4 y ya se termina. Y hola a todos que están viendo de Juárez y otras partes de México, especialmente la frontera. Sabemos que eso es una zona muy especial. And shout out to our friends in Utah, someone in Logan. We got got the loves in Flagstaff. And, of course, I saw my teammate from Indigenous Rising, Smacks, is watching from Michigan.
Aw, Snacks. I'm Cakes, and I get my friend Farrell watching with the homies. Hi, Farrell. Hi, friends. And we also have Davius Dame currently watching all the way from Nashville, Tennessee, but sending us some EP Texas love from Wangus. I don't know. I can't say that properly. I probably butchered that. Let me know if that's right. Anyway, quick jam. Double zeros, perhaps? Yes. It's a wash. Score does not change. But Juarez containing that lead for just a moment there, but it was just broken by Wasatch. 3 in a row. So that contention does come to a close. We are 21 minutes, 25 seconds remaining in this contest. Timeout. Wasatch makes that clock stop at 21 minutes and 24 seconds. Yeah. Boise, Idaho is where probably Stacia is watching. Edmonton, Alberta. Curvicious. Logan, Utah. Roadkill. Love it.
Come for the pizza, stay for the fun. Night Owl Pizza and Drinks. Kick back on our spacious patio while the weather's prime. Open daily at 11 a.m. Roll until midnight on weeknights and 1 a.m. Friday and Saturday. Check out nightowlaz.com. Now 2 locations in the Phoenix area. Those of you who are here locally, our after party will be at the Tempe location tomorrow night after the tournament ends. And those of you who aren't local, next time you make a visit to the valley, make sure you check out Night Owl.
Yeah, love for Krasnek from Alaska, from Arctic Chaos. And Kajit has wares watching from Salt Lake. Oh my gosh, I love this. Thank you for tuning in, chat. Thank you for being part of our conversation. What's happening there trackside there, Bonita?
Beethoven tiene la estrella para Juarez, hit and roll para Wasatch, a hit and roll que ya ha salido de back, menos de 5 segundos, ya se fue, pero Beethoven dice que, mira, hoy vengo y está en la vía también para buscar unos puntos. Vamos a ver qué hace hit and roll, que sí hizo un hit y siguió rolling. Beethoven también ha pasado. Quizás hit and roll va a seguir hasta que regresa su blocker de la caja de penales. Uf, todos están chocando y cayendo, pero todo el mundo está bien. Eso me asustó de veras un momentico. That made me feel a little bit scared when I saw people following. I had some nervous feelings in my soul. But everybody got up and they look like they're doing great.
At least you have a soul. Wow, that was a fast one. And Colonel Angus is going to go to the sneaky side into the pack to see, or excuse me, the officials, to find out what the official review is from or what Juarez is contesting. And right at the end there at the jam, Juarez Jammer picking up a track cut, which is a no-no. So Beethoven having to rewrite that symphony in the box.
Ah, yes. Probably not a peaceful space, though.
That's where all the angry music comes from.
I love it.
Dun, 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 dun. Dun, 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 dun.
I don't even know if that's Beethoven. I'm not a music person. I'm so sorry. I appreciate all of you who are, though.
It's a, you know how people say they have, they can speak in other languages? I feel like when you know music, you can read another language, and it's just amazing. So
it is amazing.
Kudos to you that can do that.
Shout out to some more people in the chat. We got somebody representing from El Paso, Texas, and another person from Portland.
So Laura is calling the Airfish Review, looking for an egregious back block on in that last pass, and that tumble that we were talking about that was so scary in turn 3 on both squads. We'll see here if that is in fact retained. I don't see anybody else headed to the penalty box, so I don't believe that official review was retained at all.
Yeah, I think that is a fair assessment.
Lining up on that Night Owl jam line, you'll see just Devil's Ivy with that Brick Road Coffee power start. Bridging out is Juarez defense. Nice double teaming here from Mala and Jess. They are just doing all the damage. Lead is declared, but they took off a good 22 seconds for that clock. Devil's Ivy is your lead jammer for Wasatch. Devil's Ivy already starting to put up a little bit of pace pickup into turn 1. Nice work, stays on the inside lane, is through. Star Stash from Beethoven. 4 points on the board, and the bench declares to Devil's Ivy to please call that jam. And it's a good call because not only was the pressure on the pickup of points, but there was also a blocker in the Lookout Publications penalty box, so we'll have a pack advantage going into the next jam. That's been 3 in a row that Wasatch has picked up that lead jammer position, so they're really feeling the momentum here now, Bonita.
All right, so let's see qué va a pasar en ese jam número 11. April Adrenalina con la estrella para Juarez. Roller Bear para Wasatch. Es April Adrenalina. Ya se fue del pack. Tiene lead. Roller Bear se quitó la gorra, pero se quedó en su mano y salió del pack. Y con eso, April Adrenalina dijo que ya tengo mis puntos, voy a terminar el jam. So, 4 rápido para Juarez. Y Slasher diciendo a April, te quiero mucho. So, no sé si va a escuchar eso, Slasher, pero lo dije.
So 50 points separating these two teams right now. And I see that within that last jam, I think that might be the plan for Juarez. Hit it and quit it and doing very carefully and cleanly. And let's see if we can do that for the remaining of the game. Right now we have on that line Nine against Hit and Roll. Nine coming to pass. One more up in front. Has to let her go. That's kills from Wasatch. Very nice work there. Nine already on the scoring run. Hit and Roll with a Star Stash. That defensive wall of Juarez doing all the damage closer to the pivot, the Night Owl jam line than the pivot. Okay, I called it. The game plan.
You did call it.
Hit it and quit it, pick up those 4 and shut it down. I think I would let that run a little bit longer only because Hit and Roll still was not out in the initial. However, when you find a game plan that works for you, you run with it. And Juarez is going to start nickel and diming to keep that momentum shifting for that 50-point differential. 107 to 57, 17 minutes and 20 seconds remaining in this game.
Y vamos a empezar jam número 13 con esa caja de penales de Lookout Publications vacío. No hay nadie allí. Todos están en la pista. Beethoven tiene la estrella para Juarez. Devil's Ivy para Wasatch. Devil's Ivy se va para afuera, pero era empujado por Janine y tiene que regresar. Mientras tanto, Beethoven ha salido del pack y ya está regresando una saltita allí del Apex y 4 puntos se van en el aire para Beethoven y Juarez. Y estamos en los puntos de 1-1-1. Para unos eso es el número de ángeles. So, no sé si es el número tuyo, pero 1-1-1 para Juarez. Y ahora ha cambiado a 115. Colonel Skirts ahora tiene la estrella en su mano. Estaba intentando de salir del pack, pero los blockers de Juarez se empujó a Colonel Skirts y Colonel Skirts tenía que regresar y empezar de nuevo. 12 puntos para Beethoven hasta ese momento, pero está regresando al pack y va a ganar más puntos. Hay 2 blockers de Wasatch en la caja de penales. Se regresó uno, pero en ese mismo momento otro se fue para allá. Colonel Skirts ha salido del pack y con eso se termina el jam, pero no antes de ganaron, que se ganó, perdón, 16 puntos. A big 16-point jam there for Beethoven and Juarez.
And it's the highest scoring jam of this entire contest. So kudos.
Woot woot.
Whoop, whoop. Go Beethoven, says Devious Dame in our chat. Beethoven. Roller Bear on that jam line for Wasatch against April Ginolina for Juarez. Pack advantage for Team Juarez, and April Ginolina takes that lead jammer position. Wasatch vying for that front wall position defensively. Nice work here. Mala coming back up to the front. Juarez with that 4 lead in a row. The star is stashed with Roller Bear. It almost looked like there might be a star pass situation on Wasatch. Directional called on Meowth. Meowth Van Mew Mew. Star pass is successful onto Bip. Multiplayer block given to Janit. So a pack advantage for Wasatch are 2 in the box for Juarez. 4 points on the board in that last trip, 127 to 57. We have 13 minutes and 48 seconds remaining. And jam 15 is going to get us to the halfway mark.
Wow. Ya hemos tenido 14 jams. Eso es jam número 15 y se queda mucho tiempo. Creo que hay chance que vamos a ver muchos jams en ese lado del juego. Ahora hay 2 blockers de Juárez en la caja de penales y el pivot también se recibió un penal, pero no se puede entrar porque ya hay 2. Pero ya se regresó para esperar y en ese mismo momento los otros 2 blockers estaban de pie y con todos los cambios de blockers, Hit and Roll tenía la oportunidad de ser lead y ya se pasó para 4 puntos más, 8 en ese jam para Wasatch. Nine buscando una manera de salir del pack, era empujado para adentro, tenía que reciclar. Gracias a Colonel Skirts. Toda la acción allí entre el Night Owl Jam Line y esa Pivot Line. Nine, reciclado otra vez y con eso se termina el jam. Un punto más para Wasatch, van a recibir 9 en jam número 15. Vamos a empezar el próximo jam con la caja de penales de Lookout Publications vacío otra vez. So empty penalty box after a lot of action in jam 15.
I think that penalty box needed a break, to be honest with you. Speaking of penalties, Juarez sitting at 23 total for the team. Wasatch at 31 total penalties. Only 2 players kind of in contention for danger here. We see Lavender Menace sitting at 6 penalties, whereas Shirley Temper is at 5 penalties, and the rest of the squad has 1 or more. Except there's I'm gonna nominate a moment for these skaters. 394 skates and ladders with 0 penalties, and Hit and Roll with 0 penalties, which is wild as a jammer.
Yeah.
Absolutely
well
wild.
done.
Yeah. On Juarez's side, only 1 player is in a little bit of contention of trouble here with 5 penalties, and that is number 66, Janit. But every other player is pretty well balanced here. We have number 19, Star Predator, along with Vanna Doom, and number 729, Tropical Punch with 0 penalties, and that's huge, especially Tropical Punch doing such great work out there and gaining no penalties. Wow, I am a huge fan of that. That was just great work overall on Juarez's side. 4 penalties are sitting on Jess's total. But again, Jess doing a lot of work on that track.
Absolutely.
And keeping that penalty count low. So great job, Jess. We're back to the action track side here. Devil's Ivy on that jam lane for Wasatch. Beethoven, though, picks up that lead jammer position for Juarez. Again, Juarez doing a great job taking that front wall. We are going to get a jammer penalty on Wasatch. Devil's Ivy is going to take a seat for a... high block. I was quizzing Colonel Inglis here what that letter A means. He passed, I promise. Beethoven also getting a high block call here, so this will go a switcheroo for both of those jammers in that Lookout Publications penalty box. They'll go the full 2 minutes. 4 points already put on the board for Beethoven. Devil's Ivy, I can't remember that far back, even though it was only 60 seconds ago, if that was Devil's Ivy's initial. And it was. So now eligible to score is Devil's Ivy. 52 seconds on that clock. I really like that Juarez is doing such a good job, not only maintaining that front wall for the defensive line, but keeping more calm under this pressure, really trying to slow down that pack. The pace is trying to be pushed up by Wasatch. 4 on the board now for Devil's Ivy. Beethoven back in play, and that Lookout Publications penalty box is getting another breather. Well earned, I do say. Colonel Skirts forcing that recall of Beethoven all the way behind the pivot line. And we're getting another track cut on Devil's Ivy. Not what you want to see this late in the game. Wasatch going to take 30 seconds for a Brick Road Coffee Power Jam momentum shift for Beethoven and Team Juarez. Slight passive offense, then they come up through the middle.
Interesting.
That is interesting. What did you see, Benita?
I didn't see anything. That's why I'm like, clearly something has happened, though.
Yes, an official review for one from Wasatch. That'll stop our clock at 9 minutes and 47 seconds. Still a lot of time to be had. You can really change a lot of things in 9 minutes. Our score right now, 135-72 in favor of Juarez. Currently watching all the way from Nashville, Tennessee, but sending some EP. Oh, it just recycled all the, I was like, I swear I read this like not too long ago. I just Ron Burgundied it, so thank you. Who do we have to thank, Bonita?
I want to thank our volunteers. There are a lot of volunteers here that make this tournament happen. Hey, are you enjoying the stream? That's because some volunteers put that stream together. They are making sure that it runs. There is a volunteer running the camera to make sure that you can see what is happening on the track. We got volunteers who are doing track repair. I mean, there are volunteers everywhere. And of course, the officials, they're all volunteers. Not a one of them got paid, even though they deserve all the monies.
I was paid in compliments, and I really enjoyed that.
Oh, excellent.
That was so funny. I'm like, where did you come from? So that official review was about points.
Yeah. They're discussing it anyway, so they're not going to.
The officials were already discussing the way the points will filter out in that last jam. So the official review will not be charged to Wasatch. 8-6 jam looks to be where it's going to remain. Want to give a shout out to Rude Chicks. Rude Chicks is roller derby clothing for the whole family. All skate, no hate since 2008. Isn't that great? Wouldn't you say?
Let's have a date.
Let's have it all day. We're talking about those penalty troubles. Devil's Ivy on the third penalty. Again, not too much trouble for anybody overall. Game on. And OK Knuckles in the chat says, thank you all volunteers. And Arctic Chaos says, volunteers make Derby happen. You are so right. Bonita, what is happening in Jam 17?
Que ya se fue del pack. April Drenalina tiene lead. Devil's Ivy está intentando de salir de la caja de penales. Está allí de pie. April Drenalina con esos movimientos tan lindos. 4 puntos en el aire. Devil's Ivy ha regresado a la pista. Tiene la gorra en su mano, pero ya se lo pasó a Roller Bear. Roller Bear ahora es jammer para Wasatch. Oh, man, una salta grande allí en la línea de afuera. Gracias a April Drenalina. That was one of the coolest things I've seen. That jump on the outside of the apex, like a sidestep hop. I mean,
glorious.
And stayed upright. I mean, that's skill.
It was perfect. 10 out of 10. Would watch again. Yes, Queen. Nice 12-pointer in that last gem. Now, Nine on that Night Owl jam line against Roller Bear from Team Wasatch. Pack advantage for Juarez, as we don't have Taco Delamere on the track. Lead goes to Nine. Pack settles around that jam, the pivot line up in turn 1. Roller Bear taking the inside lane, stashing that star. Coming around the bend, and Juarez content to call off the jam. One point put on the board for Team Juarez. Shout out to our event sponsor, Proof Bread. At Proof, we believe bread is more than just food. It's nourishment of connections, memory, and craft. Proof is a rebellion in which the old world techniques meet modern community to battle modern day empathy and awaken the human spirit one crumb at a time. Check out Proof Bread.
Y hemos empezado con jam número 19, pero Beethoven se recibió un penal, se va a la caja de penales de Lookout Publications. Hit and Roll tiene lead. Meowth también se va a la caja de penales y hay un blocker de Wasatch. Hit and Roll se terminó el jam. Creo que se cayó un bearing de no sé quién. Looks like we might have a bearing rolling around on the track. Hit and Roll picked it up. I think maybe somebody, yeah, that was Hit and Roll's bearing and wheel also. So
you kind of need those.
Yeah, Hit and Roll making it safely back to the bench. Going to do a little skate repair.
Teeny tiny skate repair. Beethoven on that line against Devil's Ivy. Devil's Ivy sees lots of delay in the inside lane, picks up lead jammer position. Beethoven coming out from the back, all the way from Lookout Publications penalty box. Making out on a scoring run now in the second straightaway. Huge check, courtesy of Karuka. Oh my goodness, Karuka doing all the damage. Throws a check to 394 skates and ladders. That's a game I would not want to play. Pack scrambling a little bit. Juarez fighting Devil's Ivy all the way up into turn 4. The back wall putting together by Wasatch. Forcing the recall is 314. Bip. Bip doing a nice job watching that outside lane with Orange Crusher. Swallowing whole Beethoven. Devil's Ivy putting up 4. They really need these points here. Successful star pass on Juarez's side. Hades now in charge of that star. Nice slowdown here, courtesy of Shirley Temper. Forces Hades to the outside. Juarez doing a nice job of putting a wall in turn 3, and lanes 3 and 4 gives a lane open up for Hades. Devil's Ivy still content to allow it to run, but does call off the jam, as both teams are at full strength, and a nice shutout, courtesy of Wasatch. That's the largest scoring jam for Team Wasatch at 14 points, brings their total to 88 to 148. We have 4 minutes remaining in this game.
Want to give a birthday shout out to Nick Gers, who is watching this game, supporting his aunt. If you tell us who that person's skater's name is, I'll say that as well. So happy birthday, Nick. Hemos regresado al jam número 21. Roller Bear tiene la estrella y ya tiene lead. April Drenalina con la estrella para Juarez y está afuera del pack, regresando. Vamos a ver qué pasa. Y ya llegó. ¿Hay puntos? No hay puntos para Juarez, pero... Y tiene pinta que no hay puntos para Wasatch. So a 0-0 jam.
Double donuts.
And I saw the John Cena move that you were talking about.
I can still see you, ref. Furious George on that night L jam line for Wasatch against Nine from Juarez. Nine out. And your lead jammer. Such a great lead percentage for Nine. Pack starts to spread thin as it enters turn 1. It's 50% lead percentage for Nine, but it pays off right when it should. Nine playing it safe, making sure to check for that call. There was a whistle right as Nine broke through the plane. A 2-wall from Juarez at the front between turns 1 and 2. Wasatch doing some damage to Nine's momentum. Forces Nine to call off the jam. 6 points on the board for Team Juarez. Pushes the score just a little bit further. 154 to 88 with 1 minute 47 seconds remaining. We have a question in our chat. Does anybody know what the score predictor is for this game? We did have it earlier, and
yes, we still have it.
We still have it. Bonita wrote it down.
Yeah, I did. It is 186 to 114 in favor of Juarez, according to the predictor. I don't know that we will quite get that score, but a minute and 20 seconds left. So vamos a ver qué pasa. ¿Quién van a ganar los puntos? Si llegamos a eso que dice el predictor, Hit and Roll tiene la estrella, ha arreglado su esa rueda que se cayó y no sé, quizás se lo arregló con algo extra porque se fue rápido y tiene lead. Beethoven tiene la estrella para Juarez. Y intentando de salir, llegó ahí a Taco de la Mer. Y Taco se paró a Beethoven. Krasnick también ahí ayudando. Hay menos de 1 minuto en el jam y menos de 30 segundos en el juego. Ocho puntos para Wasatch, 0 para Juarez en jam número 23. Hay una parada de tiempo por el lado de Wasatch. So a timeout here called by Wasatch that will stop the clock and ensure that we will get one more jam.
One more jam.
Un jam más.
Mucho más. Yay. Let's go Krasnek, says Arctic Chaos in the chat. Let us know your last minute thoughts. We have some thoughts on most valuable players. We're starting to get them all lined up. We're not going to tell you until after the game, though. I'm an MVTs. Is that what you said? Colonel Angus, you're so good. Timeout comes to a close, and we are about to see what may possibly be the very last jam of Juarez versus Wasatch here at Cactus Cup 2026. April Janelina on that night L jam line against Devil's Ivy. Both teams at full strength. Wasatch in that back wall against April Janelina. Devil's Ivy, one more to go. Huge hit courtesy of Hades. Lead goes to Devil's Ivy of Wasatch. It's not how you start, it's how you finish. We're going to get a jammer penalty. This will be a Brick Road Coffee Power Jam in favor of Wasatch. April Janelina headed to that Lookout Publications penalty box. Track cut call. Pack now in the second straightaway. A scramble on the Juarez defense. Nice work here, courtesy of number 8, Taco de la Mer. Pays the price with the directional. Interesting that the team is just kind of waiting in the back wall for Wasatch. Devil's Ivy trying to grow, but Juarez defense has all the pesticides. It's just not going to happen at that front. Pack just parking in turn 3. Huge hit and tumble. Karuka gonna call off that jam to stop the bleeding from that runaway. Wow, turn 3 sees so much action.
Yeah.
It's the danger zone for sure. Aw, let's all hug each other. Aw. I love that.
Really great game between these two teams.
Absolutely. I really enjoyed the camaraderie from both squads, as well as just like the sports personship. You saw it right there in turn 3, but they've been like that the whole game, even though it's been very, very physical.
Yeah, you can tell both teams came to play, but they came to have fun, right? And we saw that throughout the game, and definitely right here at the end. So score of 157 to 102. Those of you who know things about point differentials, maybe this will have some effect, since Juarez didn't quite make that differential as expected. We'll see. We'll look. We'll find out more later. But I'm going to run down and do some MVPs. I am Loquita Bonito. Gracias para pasar tiempo aquí con nosotros. Lo voy a pasar a mi amiga Torta, que se llama Cakes en inglés.
And here we go. The final score, 157 to 102. Give it up for Juarez Roller Derby All-Star Juarez. The final numbers for the penalties: 29 penalties for Team Juarez, 37 penalties for Team Wasatch, 1 foul out from Team Juarez, 2 very close, it was an ejection, 3 very close skaters for foul out contention. Give it up for Wasatch Roller Derby, the Midnight Terror. Sorry you had so many flashbacks from Effen's directions here, Booty Queen. I know that's kind of nerve-wracking. Devious DM says, fantastic game. This was an amazing game. If you're trying to make those plans for your upcoming event, you're going to see Treasure Valley taking on AZRD Rising. That'll begin at 4 p.m., so you have some time to think about your choices. At least 23 minutes, if I'm being correct on the math. Let me know what you're feeling here. We're about to give away the MVP awards. All right, your MVPs for Juarez Roller Derby For your most valuable jammer, Nane. Most valuable blocker, Karuka. And most valuable overall, Mala. Congratulations, Juarez. For Team Wasatch, your most valuable jammer, Devils, Ivy. Oh, I'll wait for them to take a picture. I can be patient, that's okay. Priorities, I get it. All right, back to that MVP action. Most valuable jammer, Devil's Ivy for Wasatch. Most valuable blocker, Taco Delamere. And overall, Colonel Skirts. Skirt. Congratulations both to Juarez and Wasatch. Thank you for such a fantastic game for Game 9. Stick around. Coming up next, Treasure Valley and AZRD Rising. I'm Cakes, joined with Lokita Benina and as well as our producer, Colonel Angus. Thank you so much, and stay tuned for more action here at the Ability 360 hosted by Arizona Roller Derby Cactus Cup 2026.